Good eve, dear readers of the web. I thank you for the time that you have given me this day. I am known as Ariel Hodge, and I am among those who claim the oldest of trades. I am a storyteller, though I have yet to be received by the various publishing houses of this great realm. I am hoping that today I shall change that. Imagine a time long, long ago, and a world our eyes have never seen. Imagine a place where justice is true, where valor is rewarded, but a world where evil lurks as well, where night is the mantle of this great evil, where the good quake in fear of this horror that plagues them. This is the world that I wish to reveal to you. This is the world that I have seen. Hear the sound of the night. Listen to the call of the wind. All is calm in this world, all is right, but you can feel it, thrumming in the air, a thing beyond hearing, a thing that you feel in the very depths of your heart. You know it comes, this nameless horror. In your heart you know that something is coming, that something is changing, that the world will never again be the same. Once, long ago, the world had been at peace. The ancient evils had been defeated and a golden age of man and bloods had risen. The world had been governed by four races, ancient and powerful in their own right. They were known as the Nabaret. Dragon, Anoa, Amoni, and Serpent, they held sway over all of Nuul, and the world was at peace. For the first time in its ancient history, the world was at peace. The Bloods lived as one, working together for the good of all. But evil can never truly be defeated, never can it truly be vanquished. For a time it will be as though it had been destroyed. For a time there shall be peace, but always shall evil rise again, for it grows in the hearts of man and beast, and it waits for a time to spread its tendrils and emerge into the light. So the golden age was over, ended by the whim of a child, and that child grew, and he found others like himself, and about him he built one of the greatest armies Nuul had ever seen. And soon that child was a youth no longer, and all the evils that the innocence of childhood had held at bay arose in him, and what had begun as an act of vengeance became instead the dawn of an age of malice and cruelty. And he, the child who had lost both mother and father, became the monster who enslaved all of Nuul. And for 45 years his reign continued, unbroken, unchallenged, but on the eve of his 70th year something changed. A child was born into a small village whose history was even older than that of the Nabaret. The birth of a child seems so little a thing, so insignificant when compared to the workings of the world. But that is all it takes to change. For the child grew, raised in a world where man feared the other Bloods, where the work of the tyrant had soured the outlook of all. So she learned to follow the ways of her fellows, but something inside of her, deep inside of her, some ancient part of her lineage, called out against it. So she left her world behind, and she discovered another. Once they had been the same, those two worlds, but now they were different, separated by a chasm of hate and fear. But the girl crossed that chasm, left behind all she had ever known or been taught, and plunged herself into a war man had no knowledge of. And so the child that had been born on the eve of the tyrant's 70th year grew into a woman, and she came to know of his treachery, of his madness. So the woman lifted arms against the tyrant, rallied around her those of stout heart and noble mind, and she challenged him, raised arms against the evil that was the tyrant. This is the story of the child who grew to become that woman, the story of her journey and the paths she chose, the paths that led her to be the only hope of Nuul. Chapter 16.